Hey YouTube, what's up? Welcome back to the Practical Life. This is Ashley Nicole, and welcome back to another evening live. Y'all, I was about to say Saturday, but no, it is Friday. um, hope y'all week went well. I hope you had a wonderful week. I hope your weekend is going to be filled with fun and laughter and self-care and all of that good stuff. But I wanted to come to y'all this evening because I've been wondering about this ever since I was like not even researching, but just kind of knowing about the case regarding Andre Montgomery and Tim Norman and things like that. And knowing all of the people that were kind of involved in the situation based on like court reports, news reports, and things like that. I've always wondered, like, where did this man Waiel come from? Like, how did he like get involved in this whole picture? And they first described him as Nelly's producer. And so, if he was a producer, a music producer, like how did he get to the point where he became like an insurance agent? Like, what happened, right? So this live is just for my own curiosity. Everything is alleged, unless it's not. All the information that I have is strictly based on reports that I've gotten on the internet, information that I've kind of looked up a little bit. To be honest, I wasn't able to really find much, but just was curious, about a little bit of his history and things like that. So again, this live is just based purely on my opinion and just giving commentary on the situation. I also think that I think I was curious because I was trying to figure out, and somebody kind of gave me not even insight, but just their opinion about the situation. But just trying to and kind of relating it to mental health, I was thinking, like, how did somebody go from being a music producer for a well-known artist to an insurance agent who got themselves involved in this whole thing? Like, what was going on in the mind, you know what I mean? And so that's where my curiosity lies. So I'm gonna read y'all some information that I found on the internet, and then I'll give my commentary and things like that. But I hope you all had a wonderful week. Y'all, my voice is still not at 100%. And I don't even know why I'm saying 100% because nobody is ever at 100%, whether that be mentally, physically, emotionally, whatever. Nobody is ever at 100%. So I don't know why I'm saying that, but I just wish my voice come back because this is ridiculous. I don't even know why it's gone, child. But on another note, y'all, we got through Hurricane Nicole. Not even got through. It didn't even touch us. It passed us, thank goodness. And we're back to our regular scheduled programming of 100 degrees every day with a few spots of rain. So yeah. So definitely happy about that. So y'all, let's get into it. Now, this man's name is Waiel Rebi or Rebhi. I don't know how to pronounce it. Waiel Rebi Yaghnam. However, he has been throughout this whole, the whole trial and things like that. We know that he was called Wally. They called him Wally. And of course, information came out that he was a Nelly's producer, right? And so, um, when you look him up as like a St. Louis producer, and I believe he's from St. Louis. So when you look him up as a St. Louis producer, of course, Wally comes up, but he is actually called Wally Beeman in St. Louis because I guess that's his alias as a producer, right? And so I said, well, let me look up Wally Beeman and see, see what I could find, like, because I am interested in figuring out, like, how this man go from producing for Nelly. Nelly is a well-known artist. Nelly Nelly. If y'all ever heard that song by I forget the name of the song. It's a song by Jay-Z. And Jay-Z quotes that him, Nelly, and Eminem, baby, they're at the top as far as sales. Okay. Nelly is one of the rap artists that was able to cross over. Nelly still tours. Nelly can sell out arenas. Like sometimes too, I be thinking people sleep on Nelly. I don't know why, honey, because Nelly got that dough. Okay, Nelly got that dough from their music. And also, Nelly has done a lot of things in St. Louis. Nelly has, a music school and all of this stuff. Like, he really, especially coming from St. Louis, the town that we come from, he really made it, y'all, for real. And so I said, well, let me see, because the only song I saw that he produced was Number One. Y'all know that song, I Am Number One. So that song was like one of the title tracks for Training Day. Y'all know Training Day won an Oscar, right? Okay. So that's when I was like, wait a minute. You were a producer on Number One. Now, Number One was on the album Nellyville. That was, I believe that might have been Nelly's second album. I can't remember. But I'm like, I want to see what else he produced. Like, did he produce any songs? Or like, because then I'm thinking, okay, if you were only a producer on one song, that movie won a Grammy and all this stuff or whatever. So now you are like a well-known music producer. You were able to produce a hit song, right? So I would imagine that one would assume that you would get more gigs, right, to produce other songs for well-known artists, right? Because you produced a Grammy nominated hit or whatever. But I'm like, well, let me see if he produced any other songs. So, but y'all, when I look him up, what do I find? This man was a founder of Basement Beats. And Basement Beats is a St. Louis based Grammy Award winning and multi platinum production team, best known for their collaborations with Nelly, the St. Lunatics, right? And it was founded by Jason J.E. Epperson, Waiel, Wally Beeman, Yaghnam, Lavelle City Spud Webb, and Jason Coco Bridges in 1998. So he was one of the founders of Basement Beats, right? So now it's not a lot of information. I gotta look something up, y'all. Wait a minute. It's not a lot of information about Basement Beats, really, to me. And this is all I don't know, speculation. This is all my speculating and assuming. Um, but when you look up this information, it looks like they're not listing him as a founder anymore, or like as an owner. He's not an owner. It's only two of them that are owners that are listed now, from what I found. That could be wrong though. I don't know. Um so he actually, hold on, I gotta turn this down, y'all. I'm just trying to see something. He founded, he's one of the founders of Basement Beats, right? Now, now, one of the names of those founders is very um like it clicked, because I was like, wait a minute, I heard that name before, which is J.E. Jason Epperson. Now, Jason Epperson, um, if y'all listen to, like, if y'all are real like old school Nelly fans, right? On his album Nelly, he actually um shouted out J.E. on one of his songs. If y'all know the song Loving Me, he actually shouted out J.E. And I was trying to see if he shouted out Wally. But I don't think so. Because I'm looking at the lyrics now, y'all. Hold on. Okay. Hold on. I'm about to tell y'all too. Uh-huh. Okay. Okay, so at the end of the song, when he's shouting out everybody, he say, Herky Jerk, Wiz and P, and Cody, J.E. Right? So he shouts out J.E. on Loving Me. But I don't see any of those other folks. I don't, well, City Split, of course, on there, but yeah, so I'm like, oh, he was a founder. Now they said it was founded in 1998 after, I guess, all of them or maybe a few of them, I don't know, were kicked out of the Saints studio and forced into J.E.'s mom's basement, where it later became the new home studio for Basement Beats. So I said, Saints Studio? Is this Saints the same as Saints skating rink? So I said, well, I looked up Saint Studio. I couldn't find anything. It's a lot of studios in St. Louis though, right? I mean, it's some in the city, it's some in the county, it's studios everywhere, right? But I said, I wonder if they're talking about Saints skating rink. If anybody from St. Louis know about Saints in the 90s, I think Saints is closed now, right? But y'all, Saints was our ish, you hear me? In the 90s, you get all your cousins together. Y'all, cause somebody know that it's about to be a lock-in at Saints. Y'all, in the night, let me see, when did we this is like late, probably like late 90s, right? We about to go to Saints and go to the lock-in. And what is a lock-in, y'all? A lock-in is when your mom them drop you and your cousins off at the skating rink, and y'all stay at the skating rink all night. Can't nobody get out. Everybody locked in there. All these kids are locked in the skating rink, basically, right? And having fun. Either you skating, you in the dance room. We used to have so much fun, y'all, at Saints. And so that just kind of, I don't know if that's the same as the Saint studio they're talking about, but it just reminded me of us as kids going to Saints and going to the lock-in and just having fun, y'all. I mean, having fun. Um, and it used to be like I was thinking like they could never have nothing like that nowadays. Like it used to be like little fights here and there. It wasn't nothing big though. You know what I'm saying? Like it might have been somebody arguing, acting like they was gonna fight, but then everybody get to dancing again once our song come on. You know what I'm saying? Girl, now they lock them kids up in that skating rink. Ain't no telling what'll happen. But anywho, back to this. So yeah, so that just reminded me of Saint Skating Rink and how much fun I used to have as like a probably like a preteen, really. Um yeah. And so, yes, I said, oh, this man was a founding member of Basement Beats. Now, it says in 2005, J.E., which is Jason Epperson, he left the company to pursue other partnerships and to establish himself as a renowned club and video DJ. So maybe that's why we know a little bit more about J.E. His name sounds a little bit more familiar and things like that. Because I'm like, wait a minute, J.E., his name sound real familiar, right? So but then it says, Wally and Coco, they began to sign upcoming producers and artists to brand and build the label Basement Beats Records. So I said, okay, well, what records have they produced then? We already know about number one, but I'm like, okay, sometimes, okay, if you produce one song, maybe it was a hit, but at some point, I don't know, when did Training Day come out? After a while the money gonna dry up, you know what I'm saying? But then I'm like, okay, but if you are a founding member of you know, of a company that produces music, like things should be rolling in. But that may not be true either. But I'm about to see Training Day. When did that Training Day come out? 2001. They came out in 2001. Goodness gracious. 2001. So they were founded in 1998, and in 2001 Wally produced number 1. Wow. Like, that's a short amount of time to come up, especially in the music business, right? Because you hear artists and things like that always talk about, man, we was going at it for 10 years, 15 years, trying to get on, doing mixtapes and all this stuff. It take a long time for them to get deals and all of this. But it only took y'all 3 years to get that. Like, I, I just my curiosity, like, how did y'all come across that opportunity? Maybe Nelly knew some people. Who knows? When you hear Nelly talk about, his history and things like that, again in the music business, Nelly, he was in New York for a time trying to get signed and all of this. So who knows what connections he made, and then maybe he was able to kind of put them on and say, hey, I got these producers in St. Louis. They bomb or whatever. They can go ahead and produce, maybe give them a chance to produce the song or whatever. It could have went like that. Who knows, right? So I said, well, let me see what else Wally has produced, right? Because again, how do you go from being a producer of a hit song for a Grammy nominated, Grammy award winning movie and things like that, right? To getting yourself caught up in some mess. So this man, I'm not even gonna name all the songs, but he has either been involved or produced or what have you on a lot of records, y'all. Especially a lot for Nelly. Not even on just Nellyville, but on some of the remixes, on Sweatsuit, I believe. Of course, Training Day. What else? For Murphy Lee. Um, he was even on like a mixtape that DJ Envy did. And anybody know who DJ Envy is? He's a DJ on the Breakfast Club. He's a host basically on the Breakfast Club. And that was in like 2003. He produced one of the songs on his mixtape Desert Storm. Um I mean, he produced a lot of records, y'all. So he been like up in the music industry. It ain't like, okay, I was just dealing with Nelly and the Saint Lunatics. Like, he been producing for a lot of people. So I was trying to find out how, like, at what point maybe did he stop producing, right? Or where it indicated that he wasn't involved in any works or anything with any, music. Like, where did it stop? And I want to say what I found. I don't know if it's accurate or not, because sometimes on the internet you can't really find, what's really it. It might say one thing here, it might say another thing there, child. Um, so but it looks like to me that it was like up until maybe 2017 where he was like involved in certain projects as far as producing. So then I'm like, okay, well, how did you get from that to trying to become an insurance agent? And somebody gave me a perspective like, okay, and I mean, I don't know why I didn't look at it like this, but anywho, so it's like they're like, okay, Ashley, when he a grown man, like if the money not coming in, especially if he got a family or something like that, right? He gotta make money any way he can. You know what I'm saying? Like he gotta get the money. He gotta get to the money. And insurance, I guess, was just one of the ways. Like, that he thought like, okay, I could do this. Um, seems easy enough, signing people up. I know a lot of people, things like that, whatever. And I'm like, I don't know. It's just something that ain't clicking right. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. Like, what made you think of I'm gonna go get my insurance license? Like, I don't know about that. Now, when you look up, this is this one site, but I don't know if this is accurate either. But it says now the owners of for Basement Beats, the owner is Jay Epperson and the vice president is Antoine Blanchard. I don't know who that is. I've never heard of that name. But then when you go to their website, I don't. Let me see. There is no website. It says it can't be reached. So yeah, so I don't know if they still exist or if they're still producing and just the information is not out there, or anything like that. I don't know. But I just wonder what happened in between the time where Wally said, okay, I'm gonna go ahead. Now, we do know that wasn't Tim trying to be a rapper or something? Wasn't he in the studio? Wasn't he trying to be in the studio? Maybe that's how he met Wally. And he probably, maybe he did, and probably I just missed that part. The only thing I remember, I don't know why it's stuck in my head, y'all. The only thing I remember is him being, is Wally being at that restaurant every week, they said. Being at that restaurant every week, eating. But maybe he knew him because he was at the studio, right? And remember, Tim was helping in the community and stuff like that. He had got Andre into supposedly into that school, into Nelly's music school. Maybe he could have met him there. Maybe Wally was doing some work for Nelly at the school, because when I was looking up that school too, it said that Nelly had like a lot of people come to the school, like producers and other music artists to like talk to the kids. I forget the man's name, but one guy I found, it said that he actually wrote a curriculum for a particular class, for Nelly, after like working with Nelly and stuff like that. And he presented it to the school and basically just had like a curriculum for this particular class regarding music and stuff, about the music business, how to read your contract, stuff like that. So maybe Wally was doing some work or classes as far as producing, who knows, right? And that's how he ran into Tim. And the rest is history. But I was like, how did this man go from that to being an insurance agent? I mean, it takes, especially if you already have a particular skill, and sometimes people do go to totally different occupations, right? If you, and some of the reasons for that I find is people, they're just not interested in what they were doing anymore. Maybe the interest is wanting to make more money, the field that they were in doesn't pay very well, or they've gotten to the top of the pay scale, things like that. They're interested in something different. Like, it could be just a few reasons, but I just wonder what his reason is. And sometimes too, what I was thinking about was that if he was in the music business and maybe that part of music is iffy, right? Sometimes the work comes in, maybe sometimes the work doesn't come in, right? Maybe contracts weren't right, maybe he wasn't getting paid the way he wanted to get paid. And so, okay, I'm gonna try this out. I'm gonna try being an insurance agent, right? It's like sometimes people get so desperate, you know what I'm saying, to make money, instead of really just sitting down, reevaluating what skill you have and what your craft is and how you can kind of modify what you're doing, right? So instead of producing music, just like, I don't know, maybe he was helping at Nelly's school. Instead of producing music, maybe you can teach kids how to produce. It's so many people and so many kids want to be um in the music business, call themselves producers and things like that, and maybe need to learn a little bit more, he could have been doing that. He did was a founding member of a record company, right? So you could have founded your own little company, school or whatever to teach kids, or could have been like an independent contractor or something, right? On how to produce, how to get your productions out there, how to do a mixtape or whatever it is. I don't know specifically what they do, child. How to arrange music, right? Hold on, y'all. Okay. Um, yeah, so how to arrange music, things like that. Instead of going to something totally different. Now that's only if you really love what you're doing and you really trying to figure out, okay, how can I make this work? Maybe he was just tired of it. Who knows? Maybe he was tired of it. Because to be an insurance agent, we know you gotta be licensed, you got to study for the license, things like that. Or maybe he knew somebody else that was an insurance agent and said, all you gotta do is this and this, because sometimes people talk a good game. And if you don't have good discernment, or you just trying to make a quick buck, anybody will go for it. Man, all you gotta do is this. I know somebody this or that or whatever. I know somebody who make this much, that much. But then when you get into it, you see, oh man, I gotta really try to, you know, get a clientele. I gotta really figure out who need this service. You know what I'm saying? So I just wonder. But I'm like, I'm just curious and questioning, like, was he so desperate that he said, okay, I'ma just be an insurance agent out. I'ma get the license, go through all this. And then, like, was Tim his only quote unquote client? Because it looked like he went through a lot trying to, communicating with him, trying to get things rolling, some really, something fraudulent or whatever. It was how many applications, more than two, more than three? Like, was this your only client? I don't get it. I'm just curious, y'all. What y'all think? Y'all have to let me know. But yeah, so it says too that I was looking up again basement beats. But see, I don't know if Wally was involved when all this stuff happened with this record label. It says Basement Beats Records, established in St. Louis, Missouri, is a now this one says established in 2005, but I think they founded it before that. Is a growing entertainment and music productions company that aims to promote high quality entertainment and music products and services. Um, it says they produce pre-recorded music and offers to clients, customers, and end users a finished product. Um, it says they have produced and marketed, created, and created over 38 albums since 1999. That's a lot of albums. These albums, now y'all, I don't know, don't quote me on this because I don't know if this is true, but if it is, come on now. These albums have generated over 380 million in revenue for Universal Records, EMI Records, and WEA Music Group. Who is that? What? So if you part of something like that, why how you get to be an insurance agent? I don't get it, y'all. Then it says a variety of these projects have surpassed the gold and platinum sales levels and earned industry recognition through Grammy Awards, CMA Awards, Soul Train Awards, and ASCAP Performance Arts. Wow. Other major networks and companies are Disturbing the Peace, Tim McGraw Greatest Hits, Bad Boys 2 soundtrack, Training Day soundtrack. So this means that from this information, Wally included in this because it say Training Day soundtrack, the Longest Yard soundtrack. Besides the music albums and soundtracks, Basement Beats have has been attached to numerous video games as well as NBA Ballers 2004, NBA Ballers 2006, Narc, and LA Rush. The company has established a diverse label to handle a variety of music genres, including pop, rhythm and blues, alternative rock, hip hop, urban, and acoustic soul. Y'all, this company doing good. How did you? So then I wonder, is he still involved? Was he still involved with them, with a company that he helped found, or did he break off to do other things? And if so, why? Because the company seemed like it was successful, right? Now, that's just on the surface level. You have to look at the financials to really tell that, right? But you got from all of the accolades, you got the clout, you got you can call some shots based on the accolades that you have. You know what I'm saying? You able to charge a certain amount based on the accolades that you've received, based on what you have earned. You know, I mean, at this point, all of those accolades, your work, it speaks for itself. So you could do some stuff. It'd be different if the company only produced one record, one album for Nelly, or they produced Saint Lunatics. Okay, cool. And it was a lot of recognition off of that, but nothing really after that. But y'all, look at all them accolades, all those awards, and they crossed over, right? Pop. Well, Nelly is Nelly considered like pop? Sometimes I think so, based on the song, probably. Um, he probably could be considered pop. Alternative rock, right? I mean, they in a lot of genres. So what is going on, Wally? Now, when you look up Wally trying to find you can't find nothing on Wally. Now, I didn't look that hard though, because I ain't know, you know what I'm saying? But because I was just curious, and I just do a simple Google search, child. I ain't finna do all that. But I didn't. You really can't find nothing. The only thing you really finding out about him is what then just happened, child. That he used to be Nelly's producer and former producer, current insurance agent for Tim that did all of this crazy mess. That's the only thing that you really can find. Um, but when I started looking at Basement Beats, I was like, oh, he was one of the founders. Wow. That's crazy. That's crazy to me. So y'all, so yeah, I just wanted to pop in real quick. I'm about to rest my voice. Um and chill out. Y'all, I'm about to find something on Netflix. Now let me what do y'all I need some recommendations for Netflix. I told y'all I like to watch documentaries, right? Y'all, I'm gonna have to do a video on this. Did y'all see did y'all see the documentary about it's called Killer Sally? It looked the little thumbnail, it looked interesting. So I said, let me see what this about. Y'all, that lady, it's crazy because in the beginning, I said, oh my gosh, she what she was saying, the man was I don't want to spoil it for y'all, but the husband, she was a Marine. You don't find too many women that are Marines. The Marines are very hardcore, y'all. Like they are, as far as the service, in my opinion, hey, they are hardcore. When I was in high school, a lot of my teachers were retired Marines. And when I say they didn't play, They did not play. You would still think they was active duty, and they didn't care that we was kids. Like, they didn't play, y'all. But I've never seen or heard. I'm sure it's more than one, right? But more than her. But I don't, and it's probably wrong for me to say, I just don't see women being in the Marines. Like, they do some hardcore stuff, y'all. But she was a Marine and her husband was a Marine too. But and it was like domestic violence and stuff like that. And the way she was describing it, it was like you would feel sorry for the lady. Like, yeah, you would feel sorry for the lady. And then what got me was when they showed the kids. And what ended up happening, this gonna be a spoiler alert. What ended up happening, she ended up unaliving him because she said he was choking her and he had been choking her the whole marriage, and she was at this day, she was like, he gonna end up hurting me for real, for real. So she shot him. Now she shot him twice, and the prosecutor was like, okay, but the way she shot him, because she kept saying he was coming after me, he was running after me, and the prosecutor was like, okay, but the way she shot him didn't indicate that, right? But the way she was telling the story, y'all, it's like this lady had a straight face. You could tell she really didn't have any remorse. Now that could be twofold, because I've worked with women who've been in domestic violence situation. Twofold could be, look, I've been going through this for years and years and years. I'm tired of it. Like, they at the point where they at relief that the pain is over. Like, they don't have to worry about this man jumping on them, running after them, running towards them, being anxious, not knowing what's gonna happen from day to day. Like, they're relieved. So it's like I did what I had to do, right? Then on the other hand, they're upset because they're like, okay, what have I done? I didn't mean to do that. They really love them and stuff like that, right? And so the way she was telling the story, you could tell she was a Marine. Like, y'all gotta watch it, man. And the crazy part is that when she did it, her kids was at home, and they were like, they weren't even teenagers. They might have been preteens. And you could hear the daughter in the background saying, oh my gosh, dad, get up, get up, get up, right? And then to top it all off, they were bodybuilders. And they were like, both of them were like extreme bodybuilders, y'all. And the first thing that came to my mind was, okay, were they taking any steroids? Because sometimes you'll find some people who take those steroids, they become a totally different person depending on how often they are taking them. Right? There's a lot of irritability, there's a lot of anger, with the personality and the moods, and things like that. And so she was saying that he was on 5 different steroids. But y'all gotta see it, because this man, I mean, he was so cut, it looked abnormal. And her too. Like, the kids described, they were like, okay, when we would go out somewhere, people would be looking at us like were in a circus, because both of our parents were bodybuilders, extreme bodybuilders. Can y'all imagine? So the people was like, how he beating you up? Cause she had video of this man. Wait, y'all, she had video of her bench pressing him. She was doing like squats with him on top of her. I said, what the world? This is crazy. And he was just like, okay. And she like, okay, I'ma I'ma do tug of war with you. I'ma try to pull you. I'm like, they were serious about that bodybuilding, baby. And they won bodybuilding competitions, all kind of stuff. But she ended up unaliving him because she said it was a domestic violence situation, but it flipped on her. I think I missed a couple of one of the episodes. I think it flipped on her because they were saying all of the witnesses and friends were saying she was the one that was abusing him. And controlling him, and she found out he was messing with somebody. It was a whole thing, y'all. But it was interesting because they were bodybuilders and both of them were Marines. I said, this was a disaster from the start, child. This was a disaster from the start. And then she was married before. I don't know when the lady got divorced, but because she said the first husband was beating on her too. But she said she got the reason why she left him was because she was reporting what was going on to the MPs, and the MPs didn't do anything about it. But it was all in the reports, though. They wrote everything down and all that stuff. But instead of them doing something to him, they transferred her to a base in California. And I think before they might have been in one of the Carolinas or something. And she was transferred. And once she found out she was going to be transferred, that's when she filed for divorce. And she drove cross country with the kids. And she said her divorce was final in May. And the next month is when she met the new husband. I said, well, girl, why did you had just got to California. You should have just, chilled out a little bit, real quick or whatever. Just chilled out. And then, you know, got yourself acclimated with work and stuff like that and at the new base and everything. But child, I guess she couldn't wait. But that was an interesting story. And then I'm watching I think I finished that one. I'm watching FIFA Uncovered. Ooh, baby. These people be some scammers. You hear me? People will do anything to get some money, honey. It be some corrupt organizations, y'all. That was interesting. See, that's the type of stuff I like to watch. I ain't really into movies. Like, I'll watch a movie, but I want to see them documentaries. It be too good. So yeah, so that's how I'm getting ready to do. I'm about to find a new one because I think I finished the FIFA one. I think I finished that one. And I'm gonna find me a new one and just chill out for the rest of the night or whatever. So I hope y'all enjoyed this live. I had to come because I said I don't want to miss another evening, but I'm gonna go rest my voice and I may go live tomorrow. I don't know. We shall see. But I hope y'all enjoyed it. And let me know if y'all curious like I am about this Wally and how this man got into this mess and why he only getting a little bit of time in jail in probation or whatever. Let me know if y'all are curious about who this man maybe know or who he knew or you know how he go from producing to fraud. Okay. Um so yeah, so thank y'all for listening. Make sure y'all like, comment, and subscribe. And I appreciate all of you who have subscribed thus far. Um, I think next week I'm gonna have some different type of content coming and things like that. Um, I honestly have been really, really busy, y'all. I've been really busy, but I'm gonna take some time to do some planning and stuff because like I told y'all, I really like this, right? It is just my little time to myself to really talk to y'all and just chit chat and stuff like that, give my opinion and commentary. So yeah, so I hope y'all enjoyed it. I hope you have a great weekend and I will see y'all on the next one. Bye.